Breaking news just moments ago, CNN learned that President Trump's attorney is calling for an end to the Russia investigation. This comes just hours after the firing of former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. CNN White House correspondent Abby Phillip is at the White House. So, Abby, help us through all of these new steps.
Well, good morning, Fred. This morning is a really remarkable development, in part because it contradicts everything the White House and the president's lawyers have been saying up until this point, that they want to see this investigation taken to its logical conclusion, which is what they believe will show that the president had nothing to do with any sort of collusion with related to Russia. But now John Dowd, who's the outside attorney for the president on the issue of Russia, has issued a statement to CNN and to some other outlets saying that I pray the acting Attorney General Rod Rosenstein will follow the brilliant and courageous example of the FBI Office of Professional Responsibility and Attorney General Jeff Sessions and bring an end to the alleged Russia collusion investigation manufactured by McCabe's boss, James Comey, based on a fraudulent and corrupt dossier. He is referring here to Andrew McCabe, the former Deputy Director of the FBI, who was fired just last night, a couple of days before he was set to retire, based on an ongoing investigation into his handling of a completely separate matter. But he's saying that firing should be a sort of a way in which the president can, or in Rosenstein can use it as a template for firing the special counsel Robert Mueller. That is something that is really well beyond what anybody associated with the president has said. And in response to that, now a source close to the president is walking back what Dowd is saying, telling CNN's Evan Perez this morning that Dowd was not at all speaking for the president. He was issuing his own personal beliefs and statements and not reflecting the president's views. The reason that became an issue is because Dowd originally told another outlet, the Daily Beast, that he was speaking on behalf of the president. So folks around the president are recognizing how potentially damaging this can be to have the president's outside lawyer suggest that he wants the Mueller investigation to be ended. He wants Rosenstein to fire him. And that's something that a lot of folks on the Hill, especially Republicans, have said the president should absolutely not do. He should not direct people to fire Mueller. This investigation should continue to its conclusion. So, Fred, it'll be interesting to see where this goes and how folks respond to it. But right now, it seems very much that people close to the president are trying to walk it back as quickly as possible.
All right, Abby Phillip, thank you so much. We'll check back with you. Let's begin with this latest news from Dowd, his statement, and whether this was a template for the potential end of the Mueller investigation. So, Michael, Trump's attorney calls the McCabe firing brilliant and courageous and says that he hopes Rod Rosenstein follows this example of Jeff Sessions and ends the Mueller probe. The attorney says, of course, he's speaking out on his own behalf. So there are two things there to tackle. Is he indeed speaking on his own behalf, or is this an extension of the sentiments of the president? And does this now serve as a template in the removal or end of the Mueller investigation?
So it's hard to know whether or not Dowd is speaking on his own behalf or on behalf of the president. It's just impossible to figure that out. I expect that if Dowd is speaking on his own behalf, he is reflecting the sentiment of the president. So either way, I think we're getting the view of the president that it's time for this investigation to end. The fact, of course, is that it will not end because Dowd hopes and prays it to be the case, because this investigation has a lot of legs under it, and Mueller's subpoenas recently to the Trump organization and the recent indictments of all the Manafort-related crimes shows you that this is not ending anytime soon, and that the firing of McCabe isn't by no means a template for anything related to the Mueller investigation. These are apples and oranges matters, and so wishing doesn't make it so.
And so, Brian, is this starting to look like the season finale that we heard, being related to the president in this world of the White House as it relates to being almost like a reality show?
I would describe it differently. I would say we're edging closer to that cliff where President Trump could try to have Mueller removed, and nobody really knows what happens after that point. But I do think this is an extraordinary statement by John Dowd. We should take it on its face. Whether or not he said it for the president or not. He's the president's lawyer. His entire job is to represent the president. That's his entire job. So either President Trump needs to get a new lawyer, or John Dowd was trying to send a message today. I think it's pretty clear. We all know what's going on, right? They're trying to have it both ways. They put out a shocking, disturbing statement, then they try to walk it back 20 minutes later. I think we all know how this works. We've all seen it before. But I do think it makes it clear we're edging closer to that cliff. Robert Mueller is investigating both crimes and cover-ups. That's what he's doing. He's trying to find out who committed what crimes before Election Day and who tried to cover it up after Election Day. Anyone who tries to stop him from investigating those crimes should be under suspicion. And that's why it feels like we're edging closer to that cliff right now, Fred.
So David, how is it that John Dowd's words are not an extension, a direct extension of the president?
Yeah, good morning, Fred, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, what Brian said is exactly right. How is it that the White House's position at this moment is that the president's lawyer does not speak on behalf of the president with regard to matters related to the president? It's preposterous. And if you look at the chain of events going back to last night, look, we're going to talk about McCabe, I know, and there is a question about whether McCabe did or did not mislead investigators. But in terms of the timing, you have in rapid succession McCabe being fired rather than being allowed to just resign and collect his pension. Then the president is ready with a very detailed and specific McCabe-Comey related tweet just in the hours to follow. And then this morning, the lawyer is out there saying, time to wrap up this investigation, special counsel, nothing to see here, let's move on, America. It really is not, at a minimum, this is not the way this should be handled.